Okay.
Happy Saturday, happy Sunday, happy weekend to you guys. This is the Positive Forces Show, always giving you more, sending you positive vibes.
To change your lives.
I'm your host, Kimon Hall.
And I'm your co-host, Yola Yoli.
And I'm the one to help you on your
And we
life.
have our wonderful Dewan the One.
Can you not hear me? No.
How are you, ladies? How are you ladies doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm goodish.
Oh
I'm goodish.
my God, good goodish. Why are we only good goodish?
Well, I woke up this morning and my throat was kind of itchy. That's why I don't sound so loud today, you guys, because my throat's kind of itchy. I'm gonna try not to cough. I'm gonna let Kimmy Kim and Dewan do most of the talking today
Oh my
because
God.
your girl is struggling. Okay.
Dawn,
I also raised my mic just to see. I raised my mic, okay, just in case that would help y'all hear me. I raised my mic.
So, oh my goodness. Wow.
I'm going to pray.
You gonna pray?
Yes.
All right, you gonna pray. Go
I'm going to pray. Heavenly Father, oh Lord, the one who is always for us, the one that when you're for us, no one can be against us. Lord, walk with us, Lord. Always speak to us through the Holy Spirit, that voice that we hear that tells us we should be doing good, when to do good, and when it's not right. Help us, Lord, to hear that voice, listen to that voice. Lord, help us to obey you in everything that we do. And Lord, when things are down and things don't seem that great, remind us, Lord, that you are always in control. Live by faith and not in fear. Amen.
Amen. All right.
Amen.
Listen, live by faith and not in fear. Hmm. That's good.
Yes.
All right. How was your
Girl,
week? Uh-oh.
mm, my week has been a struggle.
A struggle. Oh Lord. Okay.
Yes. And I usually don't talk about struggle in the week.
Hey, we keep it real on the positive one.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. We keep it real. We're honest. So this week has been a struggle because it's a work struggle because it's been in transition at work. You know, when sometimes you get a new employee um, or a new member in your group, it don't always goes so right.
Right.
So everyone is
Mhm.
kind of in this influx, kind of not feeling that great right now.
Mhm.
So this morning I woke up and I prayed about it. I prayed for our whole group, straight up.
Okay.
And I'm going to continue to pray because I need to remember that God is in control. And whatever is
Mhm.
going to happen is going to happen, but I'm going to be all right.
Mm. Because of one new person?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can imagine. Okay. Got it. I think I got it.
Yep.
Okay. You could pray to that person.
You could.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You
All
could
right.
pray to remove that person. You
Yeah.
could pray to subdue that person. You could pray for that person to find something else or just be so busy that they don't have time to harass other people.
Well, you see, that's the thing. Whenever you're on your job, and what we talk about is the realities of the daily, guys, and we talk about that with relationships, but also just in real life.
Mhm.
This is a work relationship, right? Not necessarily. The best thing you can't do anything with that hurt is to pray.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when people pray, they are able to ask God to intervene. And when God intervenes, He works even better than we thought.
Yeah.
And I know this happened to me prior to that couple of years. Like we had my friend and I at the time, we would just pray. And we were like, God, we got to be careful what we pray for because
Right.
God would do things and you just like, wow, you just never know. He'll do it better than we expect. So
Always. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, but we're gonna be with you on that one.
Thank
And
you.
hope that
Mm-hmm.
it makes
Yes.
your life that easier
Yeah.
at work. I think work should be a place where you're comfortable, you're having fun, and you
Should
enjoy.
be. Mm-hmm.
Whenever someone new comes in and disrupts that,
Yeah.
that makes you want to be there, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Mhm.
not supposed to be stressful. We have all other sorts of stressors
Mhm.
in life.
Yeah.
And there's some things in some parts of your life that should not be stressful
Yeah.
and not add added stress,
Mhm.
Keyword, it should not be.
So,
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Is there a Yoli start for today?
I'm trying to remember what I said last week.
Oh my God. Well, listen, as she thinks, we're gonna thank family for always keeping it locked with us here on Positive Voices Show, Viscosity Blends, Zion Highness Radio, and Reggae Global Radio family. We are so appreciative that you always keep it locked with us. Facebook family and friends, you choose radio or YouTube family. We want to say thank you. All right, so we're gonna be having a marathon coming up pretty soon. So listen up for that. Where all the DJs are gonna be coming on. We did that before.
Yes.
We're gonna be doing that again. We're gonna be doing probably a 2 hour show. Ready for that? We do a 2 hour show that day. And
Ooh.
we'll just have some fun talking with all the DJs that are on, and everybody just gonna have a great time. All right. So Yoli's corner.
Yes.
Of the day.
So my thought of the day
Yes.
is has to do with what I've been going through this week. You know, don't let other people's um, emotions or
Mm.
vibes or what they do affect you, because in the long run, it's these little things that can negatively affect you. So whatever you need to do to get out of that space where this person is actually controlling your emotions, you need to move yourself out of it. For some of us, that's prayer. For others, it could just be removing yourself from that situation. That doesn't mean quitting your job.
Right.
It just means maybe not being around energy that's where there might be somebody that's giving you a hard time or some type of negative energy or something that just really brings you down. You know, say a prayer for yourself and for that person,
Yeah.
or listen to music, listen to an audiobook, whatever it is you need to do to get yourself out of that situation. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth you being upset and angry or agitated, or maybe taking it out on other coworkers because this one person has changed um, your feelings within yourself. Your usual aura or way that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You are in control and God is in control, right? So that's my thought of the day. Because there are some people out there that will try to do things to disrupt your life or to create chaos because that's all that they know, which is fine. But that doesn't mean that you need to engage in that.
Sure.
That's my thought.
All right, that's good. That's good. And you know what? I love it. And the what you gotta say about that, Dawn? 'Cause that's true.
I agree with what Yola said. This, I think, a lot of, in addition to that, is staying grounded, trying to stay in the present moment of things. Because a lot of times our minds are wandering, either the stuff we have to do tomorrow or stuff we didn't do in the past. And I think a lot of it is staying present, staying grounded in the moment. Just checking in with yourself is important too. So making sure that you kind of ask, what do I need? What are my desires? Where am I trying to go in this life? And making sure that you're staying on track to reach whatever goal that may be. But I think a lot is going on in the world. The world is a little off a lot off kilter. So it's throwing a lot of people off. It's a lot more anxiety. It's a lot more stress going around. So I think, like I said, just trying to stay present, trying to stay in the moment, just looking to self.
Mm, that's good. That's good. I think sometimes people are like assigned by not the Lord to just kind of just get on the skin. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think sometimes we can find growth in that.
yeah.
There might be an area
Mhm.
that God wants us to work on. It could be a couple of things, or it could just be, it's like, I mean, I'm gonna get biblical a little bit. Like when Job had his perfect life, and then the serpent, the devil, saw God, and he was like, "Hey, what you doing?" He was like, "Just walking around, just roaming around." And he was like, "Hey, have you considered
Mhm.
my servant Job?" Allowed all of that to happen to Job because it
Yeah,
was a
because he
test.
wanted to prove that that Job would stay faithful.
Yeah, it was a test.
So he
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, go ahead, devil, go ahead and
Mhm,
tempt Job.
mhm.
Throw everything you can at Job,
Right, just
and
can't
I
take his
can
life.
bet you, yeah,
Mhm,
you just can't take his life, but I
mhm.
bet you he is gonna stay faithful."
Right,
And that's exactly what he did.
right.
And he sent the devil through the book at Job,
Yeah.
and he still praised God.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Took his wife, took the kids, took the house, took everything, the land, everything. Job remained faithful, and he got more than what he had even in the beginning. So you never know. It might be a Jobess moment for you,
Oof.
a YOLO
Mhm.
moment, and
That's
just
true.
endure, just
Yeah.
endure,
I
just
told
endure.
somebody the other day that, like that, there's people there to test you, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that you have to feed into that person. Or
right,
more importantly, that person's not going to throw you out of where you are.
right,
Yeah. So
right.
it takes all sorts of people
Yeah,
in the world.
to groom you, to build you, and you don't even know it.
Yep.
We're gonna tell them thanks.
Hmm.
Right.
All right, this is a call-in show, guys. If you'd like to call us, you can give us your feedback at 404-916-5138. Again, 404-916-5138. If you have a comment, if you have something for Yola, you're just like, hey, but we're going to dive into our topic today. We're going to be talking about renewal and reconnection in relationships. All right. So we know that relationships are they're fun, they're great. There's like it's a booming side to relationships. They're blissful. But they can also be the opposite of that, not so blissful. They can become dull and mundane, and it could be tiresome. It could be something that somebody would say, "I don't think this is serving me anymore." Right. So hence the need for a reconnection or a renewal in the relationship so that people can decide what they really want to do. So renewal and reconnection it seems it could be hand in hand. It goes hand in hand, but they're definitely not the same. Renewal is a refreshing, and reconnection is like a rediscovery. So we could start off with your what are your thoughts, therapist Duan, about reconnection and renewal in relationships? Like, what are the benefits of it?
I think it's another R word is a reciprocation. So I think all of that is an important part of a relationship, but I think another R word we can add to that is reciprocation. So it needs to happen on both ends as far as people both wanted to reconnect, both wanting to just learn more about each other and go deeper into the relationship. So I think it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing cycle that needs to continue to happen throughout the relationship because people are going to change and they're going to be not probably be the same person that you met when you first met because people tend to change and they tend to grow. So I think it's an ongoing process.
Yola?
Oh, I think it's important. This is not going to be long. You got to hear my voice. The more I speak, the lower it gets. Anyway, think that I think that renewing and reconnection in a relationship is important, of course. And I think it's something that people take for granted and don't really do. I think that's for some couples, whether you're very strong or a new couple, it might be something that couples need to do every week. Some might have to do it every day. Some might have to do it once a month. I think that married couples, when they do a renewal of their vows, that is exactly what it is. It is a reminder of the vows that you made to each other. It is a reminder of the promise that you made to each other. It's a
Mhm.
reminder that you are supposed to be there for each other through thick and thin. So I think the same thing can equate to couples that are in courtship and couples that have made a commitment to each other and in marriage, that it should be something that's done, that you should talk about it because maybe you don't need to do it daily. There are some people that need to be um, reminded of how much they are loved daily. Not everyone is like that.
Mhm.
And for some, that can be exhausting. But I think it's very important. And I think that there should be specific ways that you and your person talk about how we can renew and reconnect. But also, if you feel that the connection is lacking or going down or, not that great, that you have ways to reestablish that connection.
Yeah. So it sounds like both people have to wanna be able to do it. And because sometimes
Mhm.
one person might want it and the other person is just like, hey, nah, this is just not going to serve me. So in the case like that, and you have a I dare to say typically, and the man is saying, showing a different attitude, showing a different side of him, showing the lack of interest, while it would be the woman saying, let's try, what's going on, do we need to work this out, is something changing, what do we say to a person that one wants to reconnect and the other one, or one wants to renew what they have and the other one is saying, hey, let's just probably take a step back and probably take a break.
I would say that the person that wants to take a break, it's more than I just want to take a break. That to me
Mhm.
just seems too simple. There's some underlying thing there that you're not talking about. Now, this is not a ghosting situation. You're with this person. So you should at least be able to say, this is why this is not working for me anymore, versus just, I don't want to try to reconnect. That's too vague. There needs to be a conversation of why we cannot reconnect. And then maybe you could
Mhm.
find some kind of um, resolution or middle ground. Maybe the person that wants to connect can say, you know what? I didn't know this was happening. I agree. We should disconnect. Or maybe no, I'm for real. Or the person that disconnect might be like, you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't communicate with you the way that I should.
Right.
I can see now that you really do understand how I'm feeling. So let's try to reconnect. What do you think, Duan?
I agree. If the relation I agree. If somebody is in a relationship and you can feel like they're taking a step back, that's causing the person that wants the connection to feel some kind of loss and to feel like they have to keep reassuring the person. And that's causing them stress and anxiety because you don't really know what the reason is why this person is trying to take a step back away from you. So I think and if anybody's in that situation where they feel like their partner is pulling away from them, like Yola said, there's some underlying issue that's there that they probably just don't want you to know, don't want to hurt you, or maybe they just don't know how to say it. So I think if you're having that feeling of always feel like you're chasing or running after a person, there needs to just be a point where you have a sit down conversation and kind of ask like, what is really going on because I know it's something. And a lot of times people try to make people feel like start to gaslight, trying to make them feel like, oh, there's something wrong when there really is something wrong. They just can't quite put their finger on it. So these are just be a full stop and have a sit down talk with that person, or you yourself need to sit back and, like I said, do a check in with yourself and say, I know something isn't right, but it's not me. So you won't take those feelings with you, because that's very burdensome and stressful too.
Yeah, lack of stress. All right, you don't want to be with me? Deuces,
That's how you feel.
deuces. Yeah. Because can you imagine? Listen, I could do it one time. I could say, hey, let's talk it out, let's work it out. But then you're gonna 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and still the same problem. Maybe we do need to take a break. I think a lot of people, let's not just say women, but you have women and men. Sometimes they really try to save a relationship. They push, they push, they push. And sometimes it works for them. But then sometimes it's like you're just
Mhm.
stressing yourself out, you're working yourself out. Why is it that I always, because now it becomes an always, have to, or it
Mhm.
appears that I always feels like I'm always having to try to do everything to try to maintain or to keep you here. If you don't want to be here, sometimes it's just good to let the person go, especially if you're not married. So if you're married, then that's a different thing and you want to push through it. But if you're not and you're just dating and it's been 3 months, 6 months, even if it's been a year, and you're
Mhm.
on and off, it's gonna show to me is showing that eventually if you do get married, that's the trajectory of your relationship unless that person or both of you fix it and change. Because you're always
Mhm.
going to be chasing. You're always should want to be with you. They should want to enjoy your company. So again, if that's not happening, I agree there has to be something wrong somewhere that somebody's not mentioning, and no one should be chasing somebody forever
Mhm.
to be with them. That itself is it's too much for me, not doing it.
Agreed.
Be with me, then
Yeah,
I need
no.
therapy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you're the person that's always being like, be with me, why won't you be with me? Let me do everything. I'll do everything I can. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, you may
Mhm.
be the one that needs the therapy. Yeah, it's like you guys know I am the social observer and relationships. I'm always watching these shows. So I saw one yesterday, which of course I don't remember the name of it, but it has to, Duan, you might know what it's called, but it's the one where the two couples go to a nice, pretty house. There's a therapist there. Family members come. They're engaged.
Oh,
Family
family or
members come.
fiance. Yes, yes, I know that one.
Okay, good. See? Yes. And so I saw a snippet episode yesterday. And, from the outside, you can see that the relationship between these two is quite toxic because when one gets mad, he shuts down. And the other one runs towards this person that shut down and gets louder and louder and louder and louder in anger. And eventually it's the two of them shouting at each other. One is breaking the one that is called the distance person is breaking
Mhm.
stuff and
Yeah, the
screaming
chaser
and
or the
shouting
runner. Mhm. Chaser or the runner.
and shutting down. And the
Mhm.
more the person that loves to, yeah, right, yeah, keeps chasing and screaming and louding and being loud, trying to get a reaction out of this person. It just doesn't work. All of that is just stress. There's no reconnection there. And even when they met with the therapist, there was still no reconnection. They were still getting at each other. So, if it's not for you and you can take a step back and see where it's toxic or not working, it's okay to be the person to let go
Let it go.
and say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. This is not working. Let's take a step back.
Like the song, let it go,
Hmm.
let it go. Oh, what's that?
I think that's frozen.
Frozen. Because your relationship is frozen. All right,
Right.
Lavin,
Mhm.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. He said he's watching from Gambia. All right. I hope your connection gets better. Thank you for being with us on the Positive Forces Show. want to shout out Ronka Ellis. Thank you for being with us always. Julie Bailey, we love you, love you, love you. Any shout out?
Mm-mm.
So listen. So renewal, right? Reigniting the passion. That's one way of making your relationship more meaningful. Reigniting the passion that might have been gone. Probably a way of doing that would be with a date night, or
Mhm.
figuring out, hey, we're gonna just date each other with the things that that one person likes. Like if you like gifts, and giving you gifts, I'm showering you with gifts, meaningful gifts, right? That you like, but or we're planning a dinner, right? We're planning a dinner.
Mhm.
So find reignite the passion. That's a part of the renewal process. Yeah.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah.
Date night.
So yeah, be able to rediscover your why. Why is it that we're together? Why is it that we came together?
mhm.
Sometimes it's easy to forget. And I was listening to something, and they were like, there are times when we forget the time when we used to pray for a particular person. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for us to go out, or eventually we connect. And as the years or the time pass by, we tend to take that person for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true.
Mhm.
It's like we forget when you have some things like a new car. You this is my dream car. I can't wait to get it. You save, 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 save. You get the car, and then eventually you're like, it's not serving me anymore. I want something new. And I think
Mhm.
we view relationships sometimes.
Yeah, or it's
Well,
like it's my dream SUV. I got it, and 18 years later, I hardly wash it.
Wow.
Yeah. So perfect analogy for relationships.
it
Don't take
is.
your cars for granted.
No, seriously
You
though.
need to wash it, have the tires changed, give it an oil change now and then, get a checkup,
Wow.
Right.
clean the windows, clean the inside, get some new mats,
Wow. You know?
tune up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And that's what's important. Duan, have you like what are some of the things that you probably tell some of your clients about from a therapist perspective about reigniting passion? What are some of the great ways that they can do that?
Well, I agree with some of the stuff you said, come on, but I also like to share with people like a lot of times we hold a version of the person in our minds that they were when we met them. And then you're 7 years in, 10 years in, 20 years in, and you're like, well, this is not the same person I met 20 years ago. Of course, they're not the same person. It's going to be somebody that has either evolved or not evolved like you have, or, has done or learned some new skills or hobbies and things like that. You may not um, realize that they liked and things like that. So I think a lot of it, what I tell my clients is you have to reinvest in each other, relearn each other a lot. So I think people just, like I said, had that version of the person that they had when they first met them, like I think one client, she was like, they met when they were 18, they're like in their 30s. I'm like, this is not the same 18-year-old boy you met. He's now a man and he's different. So you have to relearn that person, relearn their hobbies, relearn what their likes and dislikes are, because it's a new person. We change every 5 to 7 years, physically, chemically. So um, I think that's a lot of times that's what helps get people stuck in the past and not able to move forward in their relationships. Or they're like, well, I don't know who you are. Of course you don't. You haven't asked me any questions. You don't really know what I do outside of work and things like that. So I tell them to do that a lot. To just, is this the same person you met 10, 20 years ago? No, why is that? And start to learn, relearn again. So
Mm. Every 5 to 7 years, people change. Some relationships don't make 5 years. Forget seven
that's
years.
true.
So they want you to change. The
That's true.
story, they never even got the chance to be able to be like, wait a minute, I saw your whole changing process,
That's the reality.
right? And the thing
Hmm.
too is that you say people are changing and they're evolving, but that's why I think the check-in periods are very important to be able to say, hey, We're going to check in once a month. We're going to check in
Mm-hmm.
twice a month, weekly, whatever it takes.
Or a week,
Yeah,
every week.
let's check in. So we want to be able to, hey, if you have any new interests, is there anything new going on? Is there, so that as you're evolving and I'm evolving, we're both evolving together. We're not evolving apart. Yeah. So that's key. So rediscovering your why. Why did we even get together? I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about lack of communication, and we see that that is a problem because there's no communication or the lack thereof that is causing the strain, that's causing the need for the renewal. If your partner
Mm-hmm.
just automatically is no longer sharing, is no longer expressing how they're feeling, they come home, they just watch TV, watch the game, just want to go to bed, they already ate. Red flag problem.
Yeah, and you know what? I did like the idea. I'm going to go back a little bit. I did like the idea of having a date night in renewal, but I also think
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be a date night. It could just be two people sitting down with a charcuterie board and having a conversation with each other
Mm-hmm.
on what is happening with me right now. Because I think what people forget about when you're in a relationship is that it's also supposed to be your friend. This is
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be the person that you can talk to about whatever, about anything without any judgment, just two people talking and, rediscovering what it is that's going on in your life so that you're not growing apart because you know what's going on with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be anything lavish. It just has to be the ability to communicate. It communicate properly, you know? Yeah.
That's good. Effective communication. Yeah. So when the emotional disconnect starts, that's where we see the problem. That's where we see the need for people to build the mutual affection again.
Mm-hmm.
Because women are more emotional, yes, but and men tend to be not as emotional. So can you imagine if the man with his little emotionality, I think I made that word up.
I think you did.
Yeah, that's a new
If
one.
he
I love
starts showing emotion, then it's like, okay, where are we? Where are we here? And I think that that's also a good segue for a woman to even say, hey, listen, I need you to be able to express yourself. Not just, hey, we're having sexual relation, but hey,
it.
let's call me. Why don't you call me through the day? Send me a text. I can do the same, right? But wanting that
Mm-hmm.
response before is vital to be able to keep that relationship with.
I find that it's reversed now, my friends.
Okay.
I find that we have more men that are emotional
Mhm.
because they're trying to connect to their emotional sides now. And I find that women have become the I'm not emotional.
Mm. Too strong.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah. So even in that dynamic, it still goes back to what it was before. You guys have to be able to communicate that, and I totally agree with you, both of you, that um whether one is emotional and one is not emotional, whether one is a lot talks a lot and one doesn't talk a lot, there has to be this time when you guys can come together and talk about whatever. And I think that people just take it for granted, like you said, Camille, where I said they take it for granted that now we're in a relationship and it's great.
Yep, we got it. That's it.
We got it.
That's what to do.
Because I think that you've met the goal. The goal is I
Get
want
the
to be in a
girl.
relationship. Get the girl, get the
Mm-hmm.
man. Check, 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 check. Did it. And then there's no what do I do after that? Oh yeah, I did get into a relationship. Wait a minute now. I did do that, didn't
Yeah,
I?
they do that.
There's more work to be done. Oh my gosh, there's more work to be done.
A lot of people plan
They
for
forget about the work.
the wedding
Don't want
day,
to do the
right?
work.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they plan for the wedding day and not the marriage, right? So you got to be more intentional in what you're doing and think long term. Think long term.
Yeah,
It's go ahead.
once you've made your goal of I've got the person check, you need to make a new goal.
Yeah. Make a new
Make a new goal.
mindset. Make
Yes.
a new goal.
You need to make a new goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Good evening, Richard. How are you, sir? Welcome to the Positive Cluster Show. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, make that new goal. I like that because it's okay to make a new goal. You're supposed to.
You have to,
OMG.
You have to.
right?
Write that down, guys. I hope you got your pencils and your pens.
Yes.
No.
Write that down. Once you've met the first goal and check it off, which is get the girl, get the boy, then you need a new goal because there's
You're
still work to
right.
be done. So make a new goal.
But make the goals together. Make the goals together and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that your goals are aligning. Make sure they're
Yes.
aligning and make sure you compromise with the goals. If one person, say your man said, "Hey, no, I don't want to do that. That's not my trajectory. I don't want to have kids." The other one said, "Hey, I want to have kids," or
Oh boy.
then you gotta decide. Like, wait a minute now, do we adopt, or why is it that you don't want to have kids, or should even be together? Is that your deal breaker? These things are important.
So the social relationship observer back again.
Okay,
Last night I watched Ready to Love.
ready to love.
Yes.
Oh.
And there were instances on this show. Let me tell you guys, these shows are very important for you to watch. So get into it. Right. So one thing that Kimon just said a couple of minutes ago, it's exactly what
Uh-huh.
happened on Ready to Love.
Uh-huh.
But I think these are things that should be done before you decide to make a commitment to the person you're going to be with. One of them
Mm-hmm.
was, do you want to have kids or not have kids? Well, woman was like, hey, I already have kids. Guy was like, well, I want to have kids. And woman was like, well, I'm past that. And then one of the situation was, well, what if I can't have kids? And his was like, well, you are you willing to adopt or be a surrogate? And her response was, no, I would want to have this baby of my own,
Okay.
right? So another scenario was the man was on what he calls the struggle bus.
The struggle bus. Okay.
She
The
was not on the
structure.
struggle bus. Both of
Okay.
them are feeling each other. They like each other. Yeah, but he's on the struggle bus because he was recently remarried. He was recently divorced. He has a
Okay.
new marriage.
Mhm.
He's starting over. And I have my own views on that, which we might talk about another show if we don't have time. But I have on my own views
I'm
on
sure she's gonna say it's too
if
soon.
you're on the struggle bus and you're trying to be in a relationship. But anyway, he was on the struggle bus. She's not on the struggle bus. And when he told her that, it kind of threw her off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a bit upset that she was thrown off, that he was on the struggle bus and she was not. So I say that to say that when you're making these new goals, after you've got the first goal, you have to make sure that your goals align with one another. Yes, but also be able to give grace that if they don't align, that you can still make it work if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But realize that there are some things that are just not going to work.
Mm.
For some people, your partner in your 40s or 50s being on the struggle bus does not work. And it's
No.
okay. Don't be afraid to say that it doesn't work.
Mm.
Let him go find somebody that does work with.
Right.
Or if you decide that it's okay to be on the struggle bus, don't start to make him feel bad because you're not on the struggle bus and he is.
Mm.
Because he's a man.
Right.
That's not going to work.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Mm.
So, yeah, good point
Okay.
about having goals and making sure they're aligned, but also making sure that even if they're not the same, that you guys can still work through it if you want to do that. But communicate and be honest about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, struggle bus. this is a quick thing about the struggle bus. I don't think that if you are on the struggle bus that you should be trying to be in a relationship. I don't think
Thank
so.
no.
That might be harsh, but I don't agree with it because financial, we have talked before on the Positive Forces show that a financial difficulty can be something that breaks a relationship. So if you were in your 20s or something, sure, you keep being a struggle bus. That's normal. But anything after a certain age, I don't think there should be a struggle bus. And you can go ahead and do what you need to do, which is basically taking care of yourself until you get off of that bus until you can be in a relationship. I said it. Don't come for me.
I don't.
Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka.
As Kamon would say, shots fired.
Booyaka, booyaka.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tough because you have a lot of men that do try, and brothers have been going through a lot of stress and just throughout
Mhm.
life, right? There are a lot of things that they have to go through.
Yeah.
There has a lot of things that they have to fight. They don't talk about things, right? And most of the time they might talk about things to their friends, to their boys, but it's not something. It's almost like they have to do it with intention, as opposed to us as women. We when we talk, we just we find our girlfriend or a confidant, and we just talk and express ourselves. But for men, that's going to be a hard thing. But if they continue, they'll guys, work yourself out, and there's always somebody, no matter the level at which you are. There's always somebody that you're probably doing better than, and there's always somebody that will think that where you are is actually great. So if the person that you're with or like is saying you don't have enough, it's either you try to get more, or some people
And
say
go.
go for less.
Yeah. Let them go.
Go for less. Go for
It's
somebody that's
okay.
going to appreciate you. What you think about the going for less? Going for less, Yola, Dewan. Is that something? Is that, hey, maybe your bar is set too high? Is that
I don't
something?
think people's bars like I think Yola. I think I love was Yola or you come on that said like be with somebody where you can meet them where they're at,
Yeah.
and you're okay with that, and you're not going to want more later, or you see the potential in them, or things like that. You have to be willing to be with that person. If nothing changed after the moment that they met you, would you still be happy? I think people have to think about that a lot. Because people are like, oh well, I feel like he can do this or she can do that or she's smart. Like you're placing your ambitions on this person and they don't have any on their own. So I think you have to go into it meeting people where they are and thinking from the moment that I met them, if they stay like this, am I going to be happy? So
Boom. If not, don't get with them.
don't get with them. Exit
Don't
stage
get with
left.
them.
Exit stage left.
Don't get with them. Because what can happen? And then the man will say, "Oh, she's nagging. She doesn't. It's not enough." But you knew that from the beginning. Knew that from the beginning. And then you say, a lot of people will go like with me. I have the potential to be like, well, there's potential in that person. Like, they're not there. They're just not there. Don't go with a potential.
Exactly.
It won't work. I already did it. It's like, hey, you tell a kid, don't put your hand in fire, and they're like, no, I just gotta feel it myself. I'm gonna just tell you, don't go with the potential. Wherever they are, accept them for that. If that's not enough,
Move on.
Need to move on. Need to move on.
Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so that's a lot about renewal. Reconnection is restoring. We want to be able to restore the relationship. If we talk about communication, if it's poor communication, we want to reconnect, right? If there's emotional distance, busy schedules, stress, whatever it is. If it's a busy schedule, then it's like, wait a minute now, let's talk. We got to reconnect here. Let's reel it in and figure out what I feel like. And it's okay to say that. I feel like your schedule has changed, which we know, but I feel like I'm not getting enough attention. I feel like or the time that we're spending together or connecting is not enough. And what can we do? Or is there something that we can do? Can we intentionally meet? Can we somehow make sure we reconnect? Because we cannot lose the spark. It has to be said. And then I know the man will feel it too. If it's a man that schedule has changed, he'll feel it. He'll say, "Hey, yo, hon, you know what? I know I've been working a lot of hours, and then he's like, well, why are you complaining? We're getting all this extra money. So just make sure if that was the deal, make sure the deal here. We talk about it. If that was the arrangement, you can't fault the man because now he is spending less time because he's earning more. Is that something that you guys can really work with now that you see the repercussions of both of that, the decision? Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything on that?
Oh, just that. Sorry. Just that. If you know you're going to be working harder or late, then say that in advance.
Say it in advance.
That's it.
That's it.
Honey, I need to work more hours.
Can't be every day though.
Oh my goodness.
Hold up now. Cannot be every day. I'm just saying.
Baby, this week I have this big account that I need to close.
All right.
I'm going to be working hard for the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
But after these 3 weeks, it's you and me.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's no question there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. But that's communicating though. And
Yeah, it's
both of you, I'm
communicating.
sure.
Communication is
Hey,
key. Mm-hmm.
cool. No being. Yeah. That's simple. That's very simple.
It's simple, but we don't do it.
I know.
It's simple, but we don't do it.
Mm.
We just go and take the 3 weeks and work and don't say anything.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
Just
not
it's a
coming
lot of
home again?
assumptions. Yeah.
What? Wait, hold up.
Yeah. A lot of assumptions there.
Yeah.
Like you just assume that the other person knows because they've known us for so long what we're going to be doing and how we think. But no, communication needs to happen always.
Yeah, that will cause a stress. That will cause a lot of things. Hey, I don't know what's going on. Now I'm questioning
Uh-huh.
your truth. I'm questioning where you're.
Yeah.
Let me call the office. Let me pull up. Let me pull up at the
Yeah.
office and make sure
Your
I see
behavior is
car.
different. Let me bring some lunch. What?
Oh
You
my
don't bring
God.
me lunch.
I'm
I'm
bringing
here
you
now.
dinner. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Reconnection is important, guys. Make sure the closeness after distance, you you want to make sure that you build it even stronger. Okay, build it stronger than before. Whenever anything you're redoing is obviously it was there before, you have to redo it again. So if the connection was strong before, it was at a 7. If you're going to reconnect, make sure when you do it, it goes up to a 10. So you want to put more effort into it because you know the lack of effort thereof before caused the disconnect, right? So you want to
Right.
put more effort in. Relationships are literally, guys, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes communication. It does. It should be smooth, it should be easy if you're both doing the same thing.
Mhm.
All right? Yeah. Guess what time it is?
It's time to keep going. Sorry. No, it is not.
Not today.
It's
got it.
time for final thoughts.
Time for final thoughts, guys. Time for final thoughts. We got 2 more minutes. Who'd like
Well,
to wrap up?
Duan.
I'll go first. I'll give Loyola a time to rest her voice. Yay. Okay. So I would like people
Thank
to
you.
take away today reciprocation, right? So if I do something for you, do something for me. If I'm communicating with you, if you're communicating with me, I think that will help a lot of people just feel reassured and relaxing in a relationship because they know they're gonna be appreciated in a relationship. Um, as far as renewal and reconnection, like I said, those things need to be ongoing throughout the life of the relationship. If it's a 6 month relationship or a 6 year relationship or a 60-year relationship, those things need to continuously happen. And it's like, oh, relationships are hard, or it's tiring to keep doing these things over and over again. But there's a purpose there. There's a reason, and there's goals that you're trying to meet. And you can't do that if the person doesn't feel connected to you, if they don't feel like the relationship is always going to be a renewal. And also always lean into relearning your person, because they're not going to be the same person you met when you first met. They're not going to be the same person you meet after 3 years or 5 years or however long the relationship is. Things happen in life, things happen to everyone, and people experience things differently, and they're gonna respond to it differently. So I think making sure that you have those check-ins, like to come on with saying date nights and things like that, all those things are important. But so reconnect, reciprocation, and check-ins. So
All right, there you have it from the therapist, the one herself. Thank you, the one.
yeah, but
I think Duan said it all. Renewal and connection. My final thought is that don't take your relationships for granted. Whatever stage it's in, don't take it for granted, and remember to communicate with one another, because you can't read each other's minds. So communicate.
right.
This person is not only your partner. This person is your friend. This person isn't someone that you just met across the street or in the grocery store line. This person is supposed to be your friend. Okay. So as we can communicate with our friends, if they are positive, long lasting, good relationships, we should be able to do the same with our partner. They aren't any different. Don't take them for granted and communicate. And I think that will help a lot when you think of renewal and reconnection of your relationship. The fact that you're communicating is a reconnection. The fact that you are not taking each other for granted is a renewal in your mind of the importance of your relationship, because you're not taking them for granted. So that's my final thought.
Love it.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Listen, man, thank you so much for keeping it locked with us each and every week. Do not forget, listen, it's the call-in show. It's going to be a marathon Thursday, May 1st, and Sunday, May 11th. All right, we're going to be having a back-to-school drive Saturday, August 16th, here in Atlanta at You Choose Radio. Do not forget, lock those dates in, put it in your schedule, put on the alarm. All roads lead to that back-to-school event. More information to come. Guys, ladies, renewal and reconnection in your relationship is important. Even if you think that your relationship is Gucci right now, everything is going great, still stop, connect, still think, still say, hey, listen, you know what? Hey, let me check in. Let me not just take it for granted that everything is going great. Let me check in and make sure that what I think is what you're thinking. We got to be on the same page in our relationship, guys. We love you. Make sure you check in and be to that person what you want them to be to you. Guys, we love you. Take care. You choose radio, Viscosity Blend, Zion Highness Radio, Reggae Global Radio family. We love you. Keep it locked with us. Same time, same place next week. Make up yourself. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Take care. You choose Radio Live. Bye, guys.
Relationship is Gucci.